নমস্কার দর্শক বন্ধুরা, রেসপোর্টসের পর্দায় আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত। কিছুক্ষণ আগে কিন্তু শেষ হয়ে গেল ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের প্রেস কনফারেন্স। ইস্ট বেঙ্গল প্রেস কনফারেন্সে কিন্তু আজকে অস্কার ব্রুজনের সাথে এসেছিলেন রশিদ। অস্কার ব্রুজনকে যদি প্রশ্ন করা হয় যে আগের ম্যাচ নিয়ে এবং আগের ম্যাচের যে হেরে যাওয়া নিয়ে, সেখানে অস্কার ব্রুজো কিন্তু একটি বিস্ফোরক মন্তব্য করলেন। তিনি বললেন যে জামশেদপুরের যে প্রথম গোল, এজের করা গোল, সেটা কিন্তু অফসাইড ছিল। এবং তাকে যখন প্রশ্ন করা হয় যে তাদের ডিফেন্স লাইনে, তিনি কিন্তু বারবার করে বলেন যে জামশেদপুরে সেট পিসে অনেকজন ভালো প্লেয়ার আছে হেড দেওয়ার জন্য, সেখান থেকে দাঁড়িয়ে তারা কিন্তু সেরকম গোল করতে পারেন, ব্যর্থ হয়েছে। এবং এই যে একবারই মাত্র গোল করেছে, সেটাও আবার অফসাইডে। এবং তার সাথে সাথে তিনি কিন্তু কম্পিটিটিভ ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজের কথাও বলেন। অর্থাৎ তিনি বলতে চাইছেন যে সিজনের প্রথম থেকেই কিন্তু তার দলের, বিশেষ করে তার দলের কিছু মেন প্লেয়ারদের মধ্যে 50% প্লেয়ারের কিন্তু চোট, এবং সেই চোট সমস্যার জন্য কিন্তু তাকে অনেকটা পিছিয়ে পড়তে হচ্ছে। এটা কিন্তু তিনি আজকে স্বীকার করে নিলেন। তবে সেটা নিয়ে তিনি এটাও বলেছেন যে সেটা নিয়ে আমাদের ভাবার কোনো সময় নেই, আমাদের প্রত্যেকটা ম্যাচের কথা ভাবতে হবে, এবং ম্যাচ জেতার জন্য আমাদের যেটা যেটা দরকার এবং যা যা প্ল্যানিং দরকার, আমরা সেটা নিয়ে অবশ্যই আমাদের ছেলেদের সাথে কথা বলেছি। এবং তিনি বলতে চাইছেন যে ছেলেরা, তার দলের ছাত্ররা অর্থাৎ ইস্ট বেঙ্গল প্লেয়াররা কিন্তু তার কথা মতনই এগিয়ে যেতে চলেছে এবং এগোতে চাইছে। তাছাড়া তিনি কিন্তু স্কেডিউল নিয়ে প্রচন্ড ক্ষুব্ধ। তিনি বলছেন যে তার দলে 5জন মুসলিম প্লেয়ার রয়েছে, সেখানে দাঁড়িয়ে তারা ফাস্টিং করছে অবশ্যই, কিন্তু সেখান থেকে দাঁড়িয়ে 5টায় প্রত্যেকদিন খেলা ফেলা, এবং সেই 5টায় খেলা তাদের জন্য একটুখানি কঠিন হয়ে পড়ছে। এবং তিনি বলতে চাইছিলেন যে 5টায় যে খেলা দেওয়া হচ্ছে প্রত্যেকটা ম্যাচ, সেখান থেকে দাঁড়িয়ে তার পক্ষে এটা মেনটেন করাও কঠিন হয়ে পড়ছে প্লেয়ারদের জন্য, মুসলিম প্লেয়ারদের জন্য, যে নিজের সম্পূর্ণটা কিন্তু মাঠে দেওয়ার। এইসবের মধ্যে কিন্তু তিনি আরেকটি খবর দিয়ে গেলেন, যেটা অবশ্যই ইস্ট বেঙ্গল দর্শকদের কিন্তু খুশি করতে পারে। সেটা হলো যে মহেশ কিন্তু ফিট, রাকিব ফিট, এবং তারা অবশ্যই কালকে খেলবেন। এবং তার সাথে সাথে সাউল কিন্তু দলের টিম লিস্টে থাকবে। ওয়ান প্লেয়ার ড্রেডিচকে নিয়ে কিন্তু অস্কারকে প্রশ্ন করা হলে অস্কারের জবাব যে সেল্টা ভিগো থেকে ড্রেডিচ কিন্তু নিজের ফুটবল ক্যারিয়ার শুরু করে, এবং সেখান থেকে কিন্তু ড্রেডিচকে খুব ভালো মতন করেই চেনেন অস্কার ব্রুজো। তাই ড্রেডিচের জন্য কালকের কলকাতায় 5টা দিয়ে খেলাটা, বা কালকের খেলাটা যে খুব একটা সহজ হবে না, সেটা কিন্তু অস্কার ব্রুজো বলে গেল। চলুন শুনে নি অস্কার ব্রুজো কি বললো।
Good morning. Happy Holi to everyone. I hope you have a good festivity yesterday with your families. Regarding the question you just made me about Drasic, well, I know very well this player because first of all he played in Celta Vigo, which is the club where I did my education, where I play, and where I did my first steps as coach. So I'm very aware. Adrian is also here, also from Vigo, from my city, so we know this player very, very well. But sometimes you can know a player very, very well and he can just find his way on the pitch. Yes, we have a plan. Drasic is probably the most differential player of FC Goa in attack. We will try to have a special observation of him, but he's a top talented player. He's shown that he can change a game in any action. So I hope tomorrow we can neutralize him and not that he has a good evening here in Kolkata. Let me reply you with a bigger picture of some competitive disadvantages that we are having. First of all, is talking in positive. I see that we are talking about the last game defeat, which is disappointing, no doubt. But if you see the overall game, I think that losing is the most is the result that you would expect the less. Maybe we should deserve a draw and probably a win. But as two actions that Rashid mentioned as a piece and an excellent action in front of our box, that cost us the game. Say that if you consider only 90 minutes, we were 10 games undefeated. Since 20th of August against Diamond Harbour, we connected a very good run of performances and results. Ended last Saturday or last Friday. Ended last Friday with the defeat here against Jamshedpur. But I think that the team was doing very well in all these periods. Again, connecting 10 games without a defeat is something important, and especially under the circumstances that you just mentioned. Remember that we have some competitive disadvantage, that there is a lot of room for improvement. So what I mean with competitive disadvantage, nobody has asked what happened in the first goal of Jamshedpur. It's a very clear offside. It's a player blocking our goalkeeper, and I don't like to talk about or excuse the result on a decision of a referee, but the reality is that if that goal doesn't count, if it's called by the referee like what it is, an offside, we would not lose the game. This is one. Second is the bad luck of game-related situations we are having with injuries. You are mentioning Saul, but I can also mention Kevin, I can mention Raki, I can mention Maes. So 50% of potential players of our first 11 are gradually recovering from his injuries, and that for sure exposes the depth of our squad. And in the last games, probably we were having less resources, or let's say at least that we are not on our peak of potential performance. And number three, you just asked the question to Rashid. This week we are trying with AFF, raising a complaint. I don't know what is the reason, but it might be a coincidence or not that on the period of Ramadan, in the 4 games that we have to play in Ramadan period, we have been scheduling the games at 5 p.m. So you tell me what a player that cannot hydrate or eat for 12 hours and have to play at 5 p.m. with this heat, it has a big physiological cost. Physiological cost, risk of injury. I don't want to go too brave with potential heart problems on the pitch, but I will not. Of course, I'm Christian, I'm a Muslim, but playing without 12 hours of hydration of food at 5 p.m. with this humidity, and our players that are committed to give the 100 and more extra on the pitch, it's a problem. So I don't know how the hell, having 5 Muslim players in our squad, how the hell we have been scheduled to play the games at 5 p.m. Against Northeast, it was 7:30 p.m. In the Ramadan period, exactly is 5 p.m. And after the break in March, we are playing against the games at prime time at 7:30 p.m. So something is wrong. Already write an email to the federation, but tomorrow I think at 7:30 p.m. fan vote there is World Cup of cricket. So it's difficult to reschedule the game, but I think that we should think about this in origin. How the hell we have been scheduled the games to be played at 5 p.m. It's nonsense. I just told about Racing that there are players that have special characteristics, and stopping a player like Eshe is scoring goals every single game, and he's demonstrating this for the last years in India. We had a plan to stop Eshe. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to blame the player that was marking, but we were having a mark and we were having a player blocking the player that was going to be blocking us. So besides that, Eshe was neutralized all throughout the game. Don't forget that Yasser Pool launched a lot of set pieces on our box and they could only score 1 and in offside. So I prefer to focus in the positivities that Eshe was not very active, or we didn't allow him to be an important player in the set pieces. Messi was also there, Prannoy was also there. They have a lot of power in set pieces. So in this game, 1 action and in offside cost us the game. You are talking about that we have conceded 3 goals. True, in 3 games considering 3 goals probably is not what we like. We prefer to finish with set pieces, but you need to consider that if we concede 3 goals, I always say that we need to score more goals. So instead of focusing on conceding 3 goals, I prefer to focus on that we have scored 8 goals. So I'm not going to have any problem to admit that we are going to take defensive risk, because that means that we are not a team that believe in our attack, that believe in creating more chances of the opponent, and believe that we want to play the games to win, not to draw, not to lose. So of course that has a price and a cost. And on the other side, I agree with you. We are having some defensive lapses. Probably actions on the left side that has cost us the games. Probably actions in the central parts. Probably actions in the defensive transitions. Actions in set pieces. We need to understand, analyze, talk to our players, analyze them, and modify our plan. And for tomorrow, actually, we are going to make a couple of measurements, because Goa is going to be a team that also will fight for us for the possession of the ball and the dominance of the pitch. So tomorrow, if we want to win the game, it's not only about being the better attacking side. Probably we need to lay a special focus on how to block them in defense. Yeah, it's true, it's what I'm telling you, but we are going to be determined, and we are not going to focus on the problems and in the adversity. But what we need to understand is that our team has a lot of room for improvement, that when we are on full resources, recovering our players, probably finishing the fasting moments, I'm sure that our team, as I said before, we are going to finish in the top half of the table. This is the minimum objective. If we can finish top 5, would be fantastic. But you were asking that tomorrow is a do or die game. Maybe you are thinking that we have the obligation to win the title, and that's going to be only consequence of the good performances that we do. So we are not thinking in do or die, in winning. Mohun Bagan is at the top of the table. They are opening the gap. That is not our thing. Our thing is believe in what we do, believe that we are doing every week better and better, believe that the last seasons of East Bengal has been very tough, and the reality is that today we are looking at a competitive team, determined, we are more balanced, we are doing the things well, and there is a lot of room for improvement. So this is our mindset, and nothing is going to change us on this idea. Mahesh tomorrow is okay. We will not have problems. Mahesh and Rakib, I mentioned Saul, Kevin, Rakib, Mahesh. Last week, Anton with the transfer problem. We are coming from all these things. Now, of course, this is a competitive disadvantage. I repeat the same word. But from tomorrow, there is more light for us. Slowly, gradually, we are recovering players. And yes, Rakib and Mahesh, tomorrow they are players that will be challenging for the first 11 position. And Saul tomorrow, I don't know if he can start, if he cannot start, but for sure he is completing the practice and he's going to be on the game list.
I have a supplementary question. In this short format league, 13 match, really short, anything can happen. In this format, every team like to select a corpus or main team, that nucleus of the team. Do you select the nucleus of the team?
I believe in all the squad of players. I believe that every game has different demands. Sometimes we need to be more proactive in attack. Every game has different moments. Sometimes we finish the game thinking in holding, thinking in attacking. So if you're asking me if I have 11 players to start every game, not at all. I believe in the power of our squad, but that is exactly the challenge that we have, that many players of our squad or potential first 11, unfortunately, they were facing different problems and we had to adjust. We could not repeat a lineup in the last games. So it's not about my decision, it's about the circumstances that come that make us having to rethink the team, make the proper modifications and try to maintain the competitive level.
রাশিদকে সাউলের ব্যাপারে জিজ্ঞেস করা হলে রাশিদ অবশ্যই বলেন যে সাউল কিন্তু খুব ভালো প্লেয়ার, অ্যাটাক এবং ডিফেন্সে কিন্তু সাউল সমানভাবে পারদর্শী এবং প্রচন্ড বড় ভূমিকা নেয় ইস্ট বেঙ্গল দলের জন্য। তবে সেখানে ভাবার কোনো জায়গা নেই, অবশ্যই সাউলের জায়গাটা দলের বাকি প্লেয়ারদেরকে মিলিয়ে পূরণ করতে হবে, এই কথা কিন্তু বলে গেল রাশিদ। তার সাথে রাশিদের আরো বক্তব্য যে 13 ম্যাচের লিগে একটি ম্যাচ হেরে যাওয়া মানে সত্যি কঠিন হয়ে পড়া, কিন্তু তার মানে এটা নয় যে তারা লড়াই ছেড়ে দেবে। তারা বিশ্বাস রাখছে এবং তিনি মনে করেন যে বিশ্বাসের উপরে ভরসা করে এবং নিজের খেলার উপরে তিনি ভরসা করতে চান এবং তারা কালকে গোয়া ম্যাচে ফিরে আসবেন। চলুন শুনে নি রাশিদ কি বললো।
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate result, but obviously it's already difficult because we're already only playing 13 games. So with that being said, we just have to forget. Right now we're in the present. We focus on what tomorrow. And tomorrow it's a new day, new game, new challenge. And like I said before, it's game by game, step by step. We forget what happened in the last game, whether it was win or lose. You always have to forget it and focus on what's coming next. We train for it. And inshallah, we're ready to play the game tomorrow against FC Goa. I don't think midfielders are only defensive responsibility. You have to split your work 50-50, depending on your position. As a number 6, it's more of 70-30, but obviously, whatever coach asked for is what we perform on the field. And this is what I was doing. I was doing my job defensively. I was trying to help as much as possible. And at the end of the day, whatever coach asked from us in the game is what we do. And I don't think that defensively we weren't there. It was one set piece, and I would say if the second one was it's an amazing goal, but it happened. But attacking wise, we had our chances. Just we didn't capitalize. So really, it's not about being defensive or attacking. We had decently good game, but it was just an unfortunate result. That's all what it was. Of course, Saul brings his good assets into the game. He has very good attacking, defensive capabilities. Where obviously injury is something you cannot ignore in football. So we're hoping that he will be ready, and of course, all the team misses him, in the games. So we know what Saul can bring into the game, and hopefully he'll be here to help us tomorrow. I'm hoping at least some minutes. Mindset is that you have to have faith. This is something that I've been doing since I was 8 years old. And I've been doing it, and I will not stop doing it. Of course, it's something that you have to faithfully go with and believe in it. It's hard. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's not easy, neither for me or any other of the players fasting. So it's something mentally you have to be strong for it, and this is what we're trying to do. And at the end of the day, is doing what's best for the team, and we're here for the team to help the team as much as we can, whether we're eating or not eating. We have to do our job. So.
জোহরতে কিরাঙ্গন থেকে অর্পণ দেবনাথ, রেসপোর্টস।